After the flowsheet has been drawn and checked in step 1, we can now define the dimensions and the limits of each equipment piece. So in order to enter this data, we will click on an equipment piece in the flowsheet, and then the structural dimensions and limits information that are required will be below. So for example, if we click on the sag mill, you will see that we have to enter the structural dimensions of the sag mill here. So if your plant is existing, you will have this information readily available, and if you are designing a new plant, you can change these numbers down here to your flowsheet design. This is also a very good way to check whether your design will be suitable. For example, if you know what your limits are in terms of flow to screens or sumps, you are able to define it over here. So if you do a simulation later on and one of these limits are exceeded, the software will give you a message to tell you that that scenario is not possible. So for example, in the cyclones, after I've entered the relevant dimensions over here, I have to define what the maximum pressure of the cyclone is and how many cyclones are installed, so that you don't accidentally simulate more than you actually have in the simulation phase. So the same for the ball mill, we need to define our dimensions as well as our limits. The installed power draw would be an important limitation in the ball mill, because oftentimes when simulation studies are performed, the user don't always notice that the power draw is being exceeded. After all the structural dimensions and limits have been entered, we can move on to one of two following steps. If you have existing plant data available, you can proceed to number 3. If you are doing a design and you don't have existing plant data available, you will proceed to the orange section, and that is where simulations can be performed.